We're going live?
Yeah, we're going to go live.
Are you doing the intro?
Yeah, I'm going to do the intro.
Okay.
All right, we're going to go live.
What time is it? Game time! Boo!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are joined tonight by the badass Kongzaros, Glens Retro Show, and the mad scientist Nostalgia. I'm Michael B. the Game Genie, and welcome to Super Game Room Dudes.
You are almost as good as P-Dubs and Detroit Love. You are almost as good.
If you're not down with that, then I got two words for you.
What are they?
I don't know. What are they, Glenn? Your favorite two words.
Oh, I forgot what they were. I don't think we say that on the air, though. Glenn gets banned with certain words. I have to be careful. I don't like to get you guys demonetized with one of my words.
Yeah. Glenn's allowed to have 6 words. Anyways, guys, we don't have P-Dubs tonight. Everybody knows why. Our good friend P-Dubs, unfortunately, his mother passed away this past week. Our hearts go out to P-Dubs. He's a good dude. He does good things for people. He's a good guy. So we miss you, P-Dubs. He asked us to go on without him. I swear that's what happened. Not Nostalgia took control of everything and said we're going live. P-Dubs actually did ask us to do this tonight. So unfortunately, also Carl is also off. He has a similar situation going on. No one has passed away, but Carl is taking care of a family member right now. So prayers go out to Carl and his family as well. Detroit Love, we're going to miss you tonight. But luckily, we are joined by 2 of the greatest people on YouTube. Me and Nostalgia, and we also found Glen and B.
Under a table somewhere, right? Begging to
So
be
funny
like,
thing
hey,
is I can't argue with him. He's right.
But we've got Glen from Glen's Retro Show here. How you doing tonight, Glen?
Good. I had a good day. We had good retro buzz early today. Had my premiere for my little 3D printed Donkey Kong cabinet over here. It's a good night. Good thoughts to my dog Blue. He's not feeling very well, so people send positive thoughts to my dog. It'd be wonderful, but good. Glad to be here. Turn my phone volume off, of course. That wasn't me. And
I thought that was an actual old school wall phone. I was like, are we transported back in the 90s?
Well, you are on my show here over here, so. But yeah, just happy to be here. I feel a little bad for P-Dubs. I lost my family. It happens, and you don't ever expect that or want that to happen to anyone. But P-Dubs is a good guy, and his mother seemed like a really nice woman, and it's just I feel bad for him.
Thanks, Glen. Next up, I want to introduce. I don't have to introduce anybody. Everybody knows who everybody is here. But B, how you doing tonight, brother?
Sorta. Thanks, man. Are we in space? Man, that's an interesting ringtone there. Like when you don't have Carl on the phone, you can expect Glen to make up for all sorts of random sounds, which he's probably no stranger for in his house. But thanks for having me on.
That's only with the ladies.
I can bet Jennifer's a lucky woman, Glen. But thanks for having me on again. Feel super bad for P-Dubs. He messaged me last week and was trying to get out there and rush out. He was going to join me on Mod Wars and be a host, but this family had to take care of everything first and foremost. So big props to P-Dubs. Please put something in the chat to wish him well. He wanted the show to go on still, which was amazing. From him being one of the biggest community guys, didn't want this to stop because he saw how big this community is with the chat, putting out the love out there. And so that just speaks to P-Dub's character and his value. So here we are as substitutes, as poor as you can be.
We really appreciate you guys making some time and coming on tonight. It really means a lot. I noticed you're wearing Super Game Room.
I didn't see the money go into my my account there.
The little payoffs, right?
Wait till later. Wait till later.
All right. As long as I get it.
And I also, B-Kong, I noticed you're wearing an OnlyFans shirt. It's good because I know that's been a hot topic in the community lately. We had some back and forth with our OnlyFans, and we've decided we are going to allow nudity again. So everybody, good news for OnlyFans. Nudity is back.
You heard it here. Only on the Super Game Room dudes.
and I actually see the sneak peek image that Mike's going to be putting up soon, and it is beautiful.
Fantastic.
It's fantastic.
It's tasteful. It's tasteful.
I mean, it's a little risque, but it's like, I guess I don't think you'd be disappointed if you subscribe to that. So
that's where you have to hit that members button, right? Because that's that membership, and you guys hit 1,000 subs. So congratulations on this particular channel too. Is there going to be a members section for Super Game Room dudes at some point beyond just the super chat enabled stuff?
I don't know. We haven't really discussed it. Nostalgia, you might have discussed it with P-Dubs.
Well, I'd imagine that'll get turned on at some point, and I think there's like this. I think with members, there's like an approval process. It's different than super chats. I can't remember though. I'll have to look at it. I don't know. Get that set up and turned on, and I don't know. We'll figure something out.
So, Nostalgia, I never got a chance to ask you, how are you doing tonight, my brother?
Oh, I'm fantastic. I am awesome. I am very much looking forward to releasing your nudes, and everything's been peachy.
Oh, Glen, stop hiding that face. You know you're excited.
He just puked a bit in his mouth.
I did swallow like acid flux in there still.
Who's in the chat tonight, Nostalgia?
Lots of people. We got Kev Gret. We've got Bobby Vu. We've got Rainwater Games. We've got Jamie, who is a guy, I think.
The dude? Yep.
Jamie is a dude. Kamla's here. We got everybody. We got Al. We got Mike Caputo. We got Glen. Glen is in the chat.
Wow. You have to excuse Michael B, who's running the show. Michael B, if you actually click on those chats, they actually show up on the stream too. So that's some fun ways for you to keep the audience engaged. There you go. If you guys want to see those chats on the screen, we can push Michael B to push some buttons. So there he is.
100%. And Kamala is right about this. 100%. Like, I had nudes, but it just looked like I was wearing a sweater. So
it was Chewbacca.
Nobody was really impressed.
That's right. It was in Star Wars. Come on, people.
Shoeshine, this is my favorite one. Can we still get those P-Dubs shower photos? Oh, they are the best. I don't know if I told you that. Me and P-Dubs were having a conversation, and I called him back, and I was looking, and he was talking to me, and I was like, "You're nude, aren't you?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm about to get in the shower." you know you're close when somebody gives you that, pre-shower phone call, FaceTime.
No matter what, right? It's just automatic camera, like wherever you're at.
Yeah.
Michael, what do you want at 2 a.m.?
Well, what do you got for us, Mike? Let's get the show rolling. Enough with the pleasantries. Let's move on.
I thought it was going to be all pleasantries. I thought it was going to be all pleasantries. So let's talk about the very first thing. And Glen, you should be really excited about this, I do believe, because you got a payday for this, didn't you, brother? We're going to be talking about Arcade1Up Jr.
I got the first one. Yeah, I got the first one, and I was very ecstatic.
So Arcade1Up finally announced the Arcade1Up Jr. brand this past week. We had known about it for a long time. It came out in the leaks all along. That famous picture of Glen, which I love. And like, honestly, this totally wasn't planned. We're talking about Arcade1Up Jr. I asked Glen, and then Glen sent me that picture, and I was like, oh yeah, this is happening. So here we are. Arcade1Up Jr. was announced this past week. So I would kind of get everybody's thoughts on it. I know, Steven, you think this is going to be a huge hit for them, like massive, uncontrollable hit. I'm interested to get everybody else's take, what they think is going to do.
Let's start with D. How about you start?
And this is what you say. What do you think, XYZ person?
I'll start. So I don't know if it's going to be a runaway hit, but I do think it's going to do fairly well, especially if this is like a QVC type of deal where the grandparents will see this, or uncles buying it for their nephews or nieces, because the Tykes line of small little kitchen sets for the kids and little Home Depot sets, this will fit right along with it. Whether or not it's even played doesn't matter as much as it fits into like a little home center for their sons and daughters to play with. The fact that I can play a game on top of it will be fairly well. I don't know how well the puppy one will do versus Pac-Man, although they released a lot of Pac-Mans. I still think at least that one has maybe a parent could sneak a game in because they're being sucked in to play tea with their daughter or something with their son. They could play a game. So, but I do think they raised the price recently. I think it's like $275, $79, somewhere around there, which is pushing the higher end. But I still think that they were smart. I think that you hook the kids with these type of games in the beginning, and like any junkie, they'll move up to the other levels of the game. So it's a smart thing on their marketing team.
I was surprised that they actually changed a lot of the features to make it kid friendly. So from a user standpoint, right, it's infinite lives, it's the increased controls. They tried to make the experience a little bit different than an adult playing it too. So it may be easier, it may not be, but baby Cades, I think I'm probably gonna get one just to have for my 4-year-old. I don't know what the sweet spot age for this is to get somebody involved with it, but I don't know. It might be something that's on my to buy just to see the guts. I'm curious. Curiosity gets the best out of me, and it might make a fun video to do a mod. What would you mod it with, Nostalgia, if you could do something with it? Is it worth doing anything else besides leaving it as is?
No, you got to mod that thing. What you got to do, you see, you're going to take out that screen. You got to put in a 55-inch LED flat panel TV, and then you put in a PS5, and then you re-gift that to your child who is 3 to 6 years old.
Absolutely.
That's what I would do.
You got to repurpose that stool that it comes with, because that's the most important feature.
Well, you'd reinforce it so you can sit on it, because there's nothing more enjoyable than a grown man sitting on a baby stool.
Well, the one good thing about it is that it's plastic versus wood. That actually may be a big advantage to it, and maybe even work into other levels of their design. The plastic's going to be lighter, easier to move around, and looks like P-Dubs is actually here. Was that just from him?
Yeah. Somebody mentioned in the chat earlier that you guys are in the wrong order.
No, you knew they would put the Canadians on top. I mean, that's just what he's going to do with them here.
The show's run amok, P-Dub.
It's only natural. It's only natural.
Michael B's in charge now.
I don't know how to use StreamYards. I don't even have StreamYards, but I'm doing my best. And then B puts me on the fire and the stake right away. He's like, Michael B doesn't know what he's doing.
No, I'm giving you some hints, bro. You can just push a button. You can drag somebody. Drag your picture across to where Nostalgia is and watch the magic happen.
I got an idea.
Yeah,
there we go. That's much better.
There we go.
There we go.
I think we lost somebody. Hold on. Okay, so you did switch to the bottom. Good job. Very good. Let's try not to give everybody motion sickness now.
So, my take on these, I have a very close opinion to what Nostalgia originally had. I think these are going to sell well. These are going to go up in... they have to be in a store, or like Glen said, QVC. Like if they can get them in the new Toys R Us in the US, which is going to be in what store? I'm in Canada, so I can't remember, and we still have Toys R Us. But you put them in a store like that where they... I know. You put them in a store like that where they sell like kids' toys, baby toys, put them next to each other. You're going to get grandparents that come in and they're going to remember their days of playing in the arcade and want to share that nostalgia with their grandkids. So they're going to buy these up. They're going to be giving them to their kids. I think this is a good move by Arcade1Up. Also, if you can get little kids addicted, it's the best thing to do. It's what cigarette companies did back in the 50s. They'd get the kids interested in smoking, right? So like I'm addicted to it, obviously. I've got so many. So they're trying to get the kids addicted. So when they grow up, they'll be buying them too, just like me. So good job. Get the kids addicted. That's how you do it.
Yeah, the good big corporations know exactly how to get the kids addicted to something.
Yeah. I would say, Glenn, I'm going to disagree with you where you said you think Pac-Man is going to do better than the dog one. Mm-hmm. The dog one happens to be Paw Patrol, and they are on a roll. So that franchise is so incredibly popular amongst children, it's not even funny. I'm willing to bet you they sell 2-to-1 Paw Patrol over Pac-Man. That being said, when we first got the leaks of these, they were listed at like $179.
Right.
And now we're talking $279. So this changes kind of the potential buyer. It's no longer something that you just pick up and it's like, okay, I'm going to buy this for my kid. This is now more of like, okay, maybe I'm going to have to wait until, Christmas, or I got to wait till Easter. I got to wait till a birthday or something
I
like
definitely
that.
think this would have to be a Christmas or a holiday item. This would not be a walk in the store impulse buy. It really would not be. Or
I didn't realize
birthday.
the new price point. I thought it was still sub 200 when it got near.
No, they're almost $300.
Wow. Okay.
That changes things, doesn't it? Yeah,
it does, because I already had it in my mind when I was going to pick one up, and I was like, sub 200, like no.
Yeah,
no
it's sub 200. It'd been good just to pick up again to mod a small thing and try it out. But I do think it's now a birthday holiday purchase, but they'll probably be, especially this holiday season, very hard to get. I don't think they'll have enough supply to even go around to fulfill the amount they could have sold with them.
Yeah, no, definitely. I still think it'll sell it, especially if they're releasing for the holiday season. I think the big elephant in the room, there's some people mentioning this in the chat as well, talking about the gameplay. And from what they showed, it looks like the games look like they're Flash games from like 1995. Like they're just like really choppy, really slow, poorly optimized, not very good.
Right.
Not that I think that a 3-year-old really cares, because what they are going to care about is, I don't even know that they're really paying attention to what's happening on the screen as they are, ripping across on the joystick and pressing the buttons. But
yeah, I was about to say that. Like, what 3-year-old is going to turn to their parents and say, "Daddy, the frame rate just sucks in this game. It's not 60 frames."
it would just be baby Glen that does that. Yeah.
I would be. But I had, you think about the games we had as kids, like the Leapfrog games. Those games didn't have very good frame rates. And again, like I said, these are designed for like 3 to maybe 5, like the target audience technically. So right up my alley.
Yeah, 3 to 6.
As long as I'm kept out of the preschools, I'm okay, they say.
Wow.
But
Lucky
not
girl,
about
Jennifer,
these are not about the gaming experience. These are not what we're thinking for gaming. These are just little things that got lights on it the kid walks up to, and it's got that shape just to plant the seed in that little kid's head for future purchases, but it fits into the style of the little kitchen set, the little tea set, something that the parents could say, that's kind of cool. And, they'll play with their kids. Because I'm going to be honest. My son Cole loved that type of stuff, and I hated it. He's not listening. So I would have loved to sit there to play Paw Patrol at 2 frames a second versus having to, build a saw thing and this plastic set for the billionth time in a row. I would have done it. So I think it's still going to be okay, but it's not designed to be anything close to what we're even doing with the regular arcade one-ups or anything like that. It's not for us in any way, shape, or form.
No, like I don't think there's going to be many people outside of B who I don't think is going to be buying it anymore at $300. But I don't think there's going to be a lot of us, the core Arcade 1-Up audience, that are going to be picking up these baby cades unless we have babies.
You speak for yourself. If there's a Batman baby cade, I am 100% buying it.
So we haven't seen it yet, but in some of the leaks that came out, they listed both a Batman and a Spider-Man baby cade. So we're still waiting on some kind of information for those.
Right. I'm sure it's still licensing to still have to work out with both of those. And again, that drives up prices for sure. If you're getting a DC property like Batman or a Marvel like Spider-Man, you're going to be paying for it. So that's going to drive up costs as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think the games are, I don't want to say they're developed specifically for this, but they have to be ported over to the hardware. There's going to be some costs. It's not as simple as, like grabbing an arcade emulator and throwing a ROM on there and running that. So it's a little bit different. But I mean, I don't know. The price point I think is it adds a level of difficulty for the end user, the actual consumer, just because it's a big purchase now. Now it's not like a sub $200 purchase. It's nearly a $300 purchase. You're competing with home consoles, right? You've got the Xbox Series S, you've got the Nintendo Switch.
Like $300 right there.
But those are things you're not going to buy for a 3 to 5 year old. That's the thing. That is not a good comparison.
You could.
Well, you absolutely. I would argue if you're getting your kid into, like, if they're 5-6 years old, I would argue that a Nintendo Switch is an appropriate console for that.
Funny
age
enough, I had a friend couple that was having a baby, and for their baby shower gift, I gifted them a modded MK2 Arcade1Up. Just because I knew that they were going to be home and they needed to do something. So it's not out of the realm to say, hey, here's a baby gift for both the family and the kids at some point.
Okay, well,
so
for the
there's a
average
market.
person, for the average family that
Yeah.
wouldn't be buying, I don't think, a PS5 or an Xbox One for a 2 to 5 year old. They buy for themselves to play it and maybe share it with their young one. But that would not be a gift they'd be wrapping as a birthday gift or a Christmas gift or a Hanukkah gift or whatever, Kwanzaa, for someone of that age group.
Yeah. So I wanted to go back to this. Let me just bring this chat down off. I'm trying, guys. I'm sorry.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
Mike, you're sweating.
I know. This is really stressful.
You're glistening under the light.
I just get to stay here and do what I want, but not tonight. I did want to go back. Hey, I got a new cup now. Rainwater sent me this. No more noise. But I do want to go back. Kev Grip brought it up a couple times. You just mentioned it. This has moved from something that's, what we thought was an acceptable price all up to console price now. Same price as a Nintendo Switch. So it becomes a bigger purchase, and it's tough. A lot of people are saying these are going to be on clearance by next year. I don't think so. I think that Arcade1Up, unless it's Walmart, because Walmart seems to be the only place really that does this now. But Arcade1Up are not going to offer any discounts on these. They'll just leave them out there if they don't sell.
Right. And they'll sell.
Yeah.
They will.
They will sell. Yeah. The thing with this is the reason why I think this is going to be a home run for that company, and it may actually change the entire direction of what we see Arcade1Up doing, just because the form factor is smaller. It's easier to get this on a retailer shelf because it is smaller, and the retailers will look at things on a cost per square inch. They're cheaper to produce. They're a cheaper price at the end of the day.
And the lighter weight counts too for that nostalgia.
Everything. Freight, everything is just, it's easier and cheaper to get it into a retailer. And then on top of that, selling to kids is so, I don't want to say it's more lucrative, but there's so much bigger market when you're marketing towards kind of like that toddler age to that, kindergarten type age, that the opportunity is endless. You're not specifically looking for the Mortal Kombat 2, arcade fan. You're just looking for anybody who likes a certain franchise, anybody who wants to buy a toy for their kid. It completely opens the door, and I really think that Arcade1Up is going to be shifting in the next 5 years. I wouldn't be surprised if 50 to 60% of their products are targeted towards children.
They've been really expanding just their market in general. Infinity Game Table, which I just did some content on. It's that's a whole new genre of audience, right? And so will there be feature content with that? So they're trying to suck in so many people with that Arcade1Up brand still. Yeah. And it's interesting that they still are labeling it like Arcade1Up as the recognizable brand that's expanding beyond a true arcade system at this point. So
yeah, I can't remember exactly who said it. It might have been David McIntosh one time in an interview, but he said if they keep going and just catering to us, the people that have been buying the Arcade1Ups, I mean, they're going to die. There's just not enough ground. They have to expand. They have to reach out to new audiences. That's why we see them on Ellen. That's why we see them on Price is Right, whatever other stuff that we don't actually watch. They're trying to appeal to a different market, and this is another attempt at that. Obviously, they had a similar product out there in the countercades, because arguably the countercades, they're desk shit, but they're also kind of designed to appeal to kids. Like I talked about it several times, buying a countercade and putting it in my daughter's room. Does this fall into the same category, or is it a different product?
It's a different product in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because it's not about the shape or the size of it, it's about the IP. So as soon as Arcade1Up came out with the Paw Patrol product, that's what sells. It's not the arcade, it is the brand. When you come out with a Spider-Man product, that's Spider-Man is what's going to sell it, not the form factor. Batman, Disney, all of the stuff that they're planning, all the stuff that we've heard through leaks, those are going to be what sell this thing out the door. It's not going to be the form factor. It's not the games. It's not the arcade experience. It's the IP that's going to move it.
Yeah, and they have to. I'm sorry, Michael. I didn't mean to interrupt. They have to do the expanding part as well, because the market, I don't want to say that they Arcade1Up started it, because they didn't. There were other people out there, but they really popularized it. They popularized it to the point where you had AtGames getting in. You had II Arcade getting in. You have these other companies taking the market share of us. All right. So they can't keep making their own house payments on us. They have to expand out. Now, people like us go, oh, this is stupid. It's for kids. It's not for us. They need to branch out to other demographics, other products. And Nostalgia is right. The IP is what's going to sell it. I wasn't big on Paw Patrol, but he's probably right. For young kids, that's probably what's going to sell it more than a Pac-Man that I would have picked
Glenn,
up.
how can you not be big on Paw Patrol? They're on the roll.
Well, I gotta admit, my son, Paw Patrol was probably at the cusp. My son was probably watching some of that when he was growing up. So I probably caught the tail end. We were more of like Super Y and Curious George and those shows, But if it's a popular opinion, I totally forgot there was a movie out right now for them, right? Isn't there?
Yeah, right now.
So it's actually perfect for them to try and market this and capitalize on that. But Arcade1Up has to continually innovate, continually get into markets that we would say is stupid. But if we think about it from a company point of view, they're doing what needs to be done to stay at the top of their game and stay popular in the eyes of the media.
So I know exactly what you're talking about. A brand can't sell anything. Like, I got a friend who's got this company. He had these disgusting hats. It looked like someone threw up. They put a white Superman logo on the front, and these things just moved off the shelves.
I have a feeling I know what you're talking about. That's funny, except this hat happens to be the most beautiful Superman hat that's ever existed. Okay, so
only because you're wearing it. If it was anyone else, that wouldn't be true.
Well, I don't know, Mike. I accept your apology. Let's move on.
It looks like it came from the Back to the Future movie, and
Yes, it's young Marty's hat from Back to the Future. Still say the shark looks fake.
I gotta say, you guys give me a hard time, but P-Dubs did everything he could to go out and buy one, and now he wears it in his thumbnails. It's because it is the golden hat. You put this thing on, and you can feel how special it is.
I feel like I'm missing out by not having a hat on too. Here we go.
I'm too slow. For real?
Come on, Mike. For
real with nostalgia.
It's even got the nostalgia shirt on. Is that supposed to be Diddy Kong?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Nice belly.
That's good.
I think we should see the remake of all of these for reals.
Oh man, the eyes though. Look at that. Like
awesome.
those are the eyes that keep
That's
you up.
That's gonna haunt me tonight. I'm having a nightmare tonight. That's gonna haunt me.
My daughter's staying over somewhere. I got date night with my wife. That's down the tubes now.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I never wear hats because I always don't know how to wear them. Like Nostalgia knows the correct way to wear them.
Yeah, it's got a flat bill out on a slight angle. Just a little bit of an angle. Just to make it look like you don't know how to wear a hat, but you actually do, and it just gives off like this aura of you're a champion.
The Michael B way? The P-Dubs way?
No, you don't want to do it that way. That's like the old school, like I'm a loser way.
Oh man, nostalgia! You're getting pixely again, brother.
I know. We have some construction happening outside of the street, and I'm pretty sure that they've jacked up our internet lines.
No, I heard the rumor that your hat is too loud for the Canadian internet.
You're breaking the internet, man.
Yeah,
there it is.
I don't know if you guys can hear me, so I'll just sit here and wait.
What's that?
No, that's fine. Well,
hello, mate.
Hello.
Can you hear me? What? Am I back yet?
No, totally not.
Well, okay, I'm gone again. Here I am.
Nostalgia will wait, and when you finally upload, we'll come back to you. So, guys, moving on from Babycades, obviously Babycades are going to be an interesting thing for Arcade1Up. I don't think anybody that watches this show or anybody here is really super interested unless they're grandparents and thinking about buying these for either their grandkids or like their brother's kids, something like that. But us personally, unless B, you're going to buy one to mob one, Nostalgia is definitely going to buy like all of them because that's what he does. But, I don't. One. Oh, he'll definitely get the Batman. 100%.
He's Batman.
He is
1,000,000%. If there is a Batman Babycade, I will buy the Batman Babycade.
He will go into the store, he'll pick it up, he'll buy it, he'll look at the person next to him and say, "Tell your friends about me." All right, so we've talked about this way too long. So let's talk about more Arcade1Up.
Let's talk about this week, the Arcade1Up Juniors.
That's what we just did.
Oh,
he was frozen.
My bad.
He didn't
All right, let's move on. Carry on.
Frozen. So this past week, Cool Toy was really one of the first people to bring this up. Arcade1Up released the Bandai Namco Legacy cabinet again, but this time with a Galaga trim, and everybody was really excited about that. The next day, we got a new Midway Legacy with Defender. And so far, we've got 2 of the Legacy cabinets coming out with different skin. They're advertised as 40th anniversary. I kind of want to get everybody's opinion on this. What do you think of them reskinning these cabinets, putting them out? What's the reason they're doing it? And do you think they're going to be successful? Let's start this time with my Canadian compadre, Nostalgia, now that you're back.
What was the question? Sorry, I was responding.
So
we're talking about the reskins for the Arcade1Up.
Yeah.
I think they would be cool if they didn't use the Mortal Kombat control layout.
Okay, for Defender. Yeah, that's a fair statement.
Yeah.
It's hard. I noticed, I said the same thing with the Tempest Legacy cabinet or Atari Legacy cabinet when it came out. The hard thing with Arcade1Up is if you're going to brand a cabinet after a specific game, you have to be so close to making sure that the cabinet recreates that original game. And this is where you cross the line between a dedicated cabinet and a multi-cade, because you have to make concessions to make all the other games work. And it really sucks when the branded cabinet doesn't have the right layout. And that's what we see with Defender. It's still really super cool looking, but that's one thing people are going to pick apart.
Well, this is a good way for Arcade1Up to continue to monetize those licenses, right?
Yeah.
Like they pay a lot of money to get the license for, let's say, the Midway titles.
That particular cab, yeah.
Yeah, and because it's very expensive, they want to try to be able to sell, more than one cabinet to one person. So if somebody's buying the Mortal Kombat, Legacy cabinet, maybe they'll buy the Defender Legacy cabinet as well, or whatever it is, just because it looks different, even though it's got more or less the same games. So, I mean, I understand what they're doing with it. I think they look good. I don't like the controls. I wish what they had done is really, like, if they're going to make something look like an original machine, then go all out. Make it look like the original machine. But, I mean, I get the business model.
Yeah, the multi-cade model, right? It's when I saw the MK layout still for the Defender layout, and I don't know the original Defender layout, but it's just kind of weird to have that as the marquee game but not have the control panel match. But you can't have Mortal Kombat without that marquee button layout. So it's I don't think I've ever seen another arcade that had the Mortal Kombat 5 button with the run layout. So yeah, it's not even the most ideal multi-cade layout in my opinion. It's like the 6 button layout is way more applicable and user than the 5 button layout for multi-cade.
Glen, can you start your furnace? Like I can't get into it without the furnace.
Where is that alien noise?
Glen, so what do you think of this Defender? I mean, you're an old school arcade guy. I'm sure that Defender is a lot more interesting to you than Mortal Kombat. And do you think that some people were turned off by the Mortal Kombat that'll now turn around and say, well, it's Defender, and they'll like the game lineup, especially with what's it called? I have this, I should know. That weird game that I never heard of, Wizard of War, I think it is.
First of all, I love Wizard of War. Before I talk about that, though, when they came up with the first version of Defender, it was on the Rampage cabinet.
Yeah.
And, again, Defender is one of those games where the controls are, when it came out in the time, it was like the most crazy layout for the controls. They were very specific and needed to have buttons in the right spot to play the game. And when you're playing it on the Arcade1Up Rampage unit, you really had to contort yourself to make it work. So it was nice it was there. It was nice it was there, but you really could not enjoy the game.
No.
So now, like the Tempest Legacy that came out, which I love that cabinet, but they also put like Missile Command down there, and it's not ideal at all for how they set that up. So going to this Defender machine, it looks great, and the Defender cabinet looks beautiful. But once again, if you're buying that for that Defender look, you want to play Defender primarily on that. The controller layout really should have been number one, and then everything else would have to have been secondary. And they didn't do that again. And that's a big disappointment. Now, of course, there are third-party companies that will make a new board and you can fix it, but you shouldn't have to do that in a machine that's coming out primarily as this is Defender and this is a Mortal Kombat. That's your primary game. And that's always been the problem with multi-cades and Arcade1Up as a rule, because on one side of the coin, people complain, I want to get 3 games. I want to get 4 games. I want more. But for me, and guys know me, controllers are everything, to the point where I'm making my own out there. So when I play something, the controllers have to be right. So as much as I love that cabinet, and I actually would almost really love to buy it to have here, I'd have to fix that control layout because and you shouldn't have to. When it comes out of the box, that primary game should be the one you do. But Nostalgia, what you said before, is also right. These licenses are not cheap. We keep thinking, come on, these things are old properties. The companies that own those properties don't see it that way. They still see it as you want it, You got to pay X amount of dollars for it, and we'll give you a couple of things along with it to kind of sweeten the deal, but you're going to pay. So they're going to make that money back up. So you're going to see a lot more reskinned units out there. But Arcade1Up really should say, okay, if I'm reskinning this as a Defender or Mortal Kombat as my primary game, the control layout really should be primary to that. And then everything else has to be secondary for other games that are on there, even at a sacrifice of having maybe less games on there. Because to be quite honest, if you did a Defender right, Defender, Robotron, those kind of games are old, but they are diehard games that people like. Donkey Kong came out. People pay just for that game if it's done right.
See, I'm surprised. I never really saw Defender. Like, I know that it has I don't want to say cult following, but like Defender.
Yeah,
please don't be offended by this, but
it's like a Pac-Man or Donkey Kong of its era. Defender was one of those games that, but again, if you didn't play it in the arcade with the right control layout, I get why you wouldn't see that because the controller's not right.
Yeah. Well, I
can't really play the game. The
way that I see it is I don't think it's aged well. Like when I look at that title specifically, and when I say it hasn't aged well, what I mean is like games like
Pac-Man.
And me. What's that?
Defender or me? What is
both of you? Both of you guys have barely aged well.
You have not aged well. No.
No, but what I'm saying is like Pac-Man the franchise is still very much happening. Like they just released Pac-Man 99. There's Pac-Man stuff coming out all the time.
But think about why that is. Pac-Man needs up, down, left, right. That's it. Defender needs up, down, locked, button, thrust, fire, hyperspace, reverse. There's a lot more buttons in there.
Yeah. So there's another thing too. Pac-Man had the marketing machine behind it back in the day. You can't really market Defender the same way that you can Pac-Man. And Defender never had the same impact. Defender is a top tier game, top tier, top earner in the arcades. But I mean, come on, it's Pac-Man. You can't compare the two.
Yeah, but out of the games list, I mean, was there another title on that list that would have made a better second skin, from that games list that you guys could think of? So
in terms of a saleable arcade for it's tough because if you're Walmart, I mean, what's going to sell there? You got to sell top arcade games, and Defender is a top ass arcade game. It's the
Joust, Rampage, Gauntlet, Paperboy, but I know Paperboy was.
No, you can't do Paperboy. You can't do Paperboy. I would love to see it branded as Tapper. I've said this. I would love to see a Tapper arcade, but again, Glen knows about Tapper. You know about Tapper. Arcade hardcores know about Tapper. General population, not so much, man.
That's why they got to watch my game of the week. This way people learn these old games.
That's true. The other thing, too, is Vernsky here says Rampage would have been a good reskin. They tried Rampage, and honestly, Rampage didn't sell so well. So it's kind of a tough one. And then you get back into the same situation again. Do you do the 3-player control deck? If you do that, you have to make some changes.
Right.
Yeah, see, I would have thought something like Gauntlet would have been like a good option just because it, and again, maybe I'm out of touch on this because I'm so much younger than all of you old guys, but like when I think of something like Gauntlet, that's still fairly, like it's still happening. There's still games going back a few generations in terms of consoles that are Gauntlet. So like I feel like that's still more, it's closer to
marketable.
The masses. Yeah. So I mean, it's just when I saw Defender, I'm like, cool, but I'm like, not for me. Like, definitely not for me. And I recognize there's other people who are diehards, but it was just surprising to me that they could have gone with something that I think is more relevant today than Defender is.
So when you're done the stream, and I've been accused sometimes of not respecting you, Nostalgia, and I respect you. I respect you.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
I want you to know. But when you're done this, go back and watch the beginning of the movie Pixels as he walks through the arcade, and he's got all the classic games that he's excelling at, and see the second one he plays. It's Defender. Right. It's a big deal.
Well, the thing is, if you haven't played the game the right way, I could totally understand why that, and that's a hard game to bring on a console because again, the controls are very specific to the game. If you actually played the arcade Defender for a few minutes, you're hooked. And it's a hard game. It's a very hard game. It's one of those games that it's a game that's going to totally piss you off playing it, but you go back for more because it's a game that hooks you in.
Yeah.
Has there only been like one game in that franchise? Like it's just Defender, or has there been a remake?
Stargate, right?
Stargate, right?
Yeah.
Did you just lick him? I don't think we're in a space in the world where we could be licking people, Glenn.
He threw up a little bit earlier, so like
I did.
give it back.
See, Kevgrat asks an excellent question here. How many good Gauntlet games are? And the answer is none.
That is not even true.
I admit, I never got into Gauntlet. I know, again, people like that machine. I never got into Gauntlet. Never.
Have you played Gauntlet Legends?
No,
great
because I never played the
game.
first one. I want to play Legends.
Because
So-
it's good. It's really good.
So
Pretty good game.
when people talk about like they get sick of beat 'em up games because you just quarter in, and once you beat it, you're done. I love Rampage. I love the history that it has and Gauntlet, but I kind of feel like the same way. Like I get bored after a while playing both those games because you just keep going and going and going in Rampage, and it's very repetitive. And I feel Gauntlet, even though it's paths, I feel that can be a little bit repetitive too. So for me, Gauntlet and Rampage, guys, don't slaughter me over this. Like they're not my favorite arcade games. I'd rather play something like Defender where
Right.
it's quick and it's skill based.
Right. And the challenge constantly goes up to a point where you really need to increase your skill a lot to get a little further. Like I said, Rampage, you get into a rhythm. Gauntlet, I never played it. Who knows? But it looks boring. Looks like pizza delivery.
Well, it's not like there's good console based games that I'm sure leaned heavily on Defender. Like there's Dungeon Explorer on the TurboGrafx 16 that
Right.
takes a lot of history from Gauntlet, and it spanned a whole generation of games. I'm not trying to take away from it. It's just
And
it's
I'm
not
only
something
teasing.
wanna
I
play.
play
know.
Gauntlet, but it's a different style of game. But again, if you don't play a console game with the right controls, I can totally understand what people would say. It's not that great a game because you're not playing it the right way.
Yeah. So I'll ask you another question here now. Do you think there's another reason they've possibly thought about reskinning these cabs? And I'll get to my point in a
Money?
second, but money. No. But so in the same year that they released a new Street Fighter 2, which is the Capcom Legacy cab, then they released Street Fighter 2 Big Blue. And I kind of get the impression that Big Blue is not selling as well as they anticipated with the pre-sales so far. Do you think that the impact of that comes from the fact is they just had all these people go out and shell out money for Street Fighter 2, Capcom Legacy, and then selling another Street Fighter 2 in the same year may have impacted that sale?
It's not like the first time I haven't done something like that.
I know, but honest question.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people was expecting that Midway Legacy to be the online version of MK2, and so I think people are holding out and still have high hopes for it. And if they do, that would be amazing. But otherwise, maybe the Midway Legacies didn't sell as well as they thought, and they already spent so much time with the 12-game license
True.
and a single IP cabinet. Why not reskin it to something else? It's just,
Right.
they're just opening up the market to another base that would like that. And I didn't even know what the Defender art looked like originally. I've seen the game, and so that might appeal to the person. I think Brad was saying in the chat, it's the holy trinity for his generation of games. So, yeah, money
And
grab.
it really doesn't take much to just reskin the cabinet. You have the ROMs, you have the emulator, you change it in the menu, you call escape pod. I need some more decals, slap it on the side. And they've reskinned cabinets before. They've taken cabinets, they've reskinned it that didn't sell. So it makes sense for them to say, okay, spend $10,000 to reskin these and reship them out and see what we can get for them.
So I'll throw one out there. We all know there's going to be an online Mortal Kombat at some point, possibly within the next year. So do you think that they're trying to maybe protect that a little bit by offering somebody a different option? Because like I have a limited space in my arcade. I don't want two Street Fighters like right next to each other. But if I could buy a different Capcom Legacy cabinet because the games line up, and then Big Blue
Midway
because the
one,
games.
yeah.
Well, no, I'm talking about Capcom now. I'm shooting back over to Street Fighter.
Okay.
So, like, you see that game lineup, Final Fight, all that stuff. If maybe Final Fight was the branded game on Capcom Legacy, then I would still buy Big Blue. Now, shoot forward a year, I didn't have to get Midway Legacy. That's Mortal Kombat 2 because I got news for you. That Mortal Kombat Online, that's also going to be branded Mortal Kombat 2. So, you can buy Defender, and then you get two of those cabinets. They don't look exactly the same in your
And it's a
arcade,
different
even though
lineup,
they have similar games, but they have a different overall lineup. So maybe that's some of the strategy too.
I see your point, Michael B. Makes good sense for the one that needs to think about that space and wants to have the different looking cap. I dig it. That makes sense. I still wouldn't buy it though. I don't know. The non-Wi-Fi-ness of those cabs without any high score keeping for any of that stuff. It's just not one of those things. Like I wish most of their new cabs, like the feature, have Wi-Fi stuff. So this is just kind of an older model now. That's the non-Wi-Fi model, the latest model that came out that wasn't Wi-Fi enabled anymore. And so I hope they maybe find a way to do something with that in the future for those older games. Like, iArcade went back and said, hey, here's leaderboards. And I don't know, you can't do it if the hardware's not there, obviously.
No.
But like if they ever reskinned it, it's like, hey, let's introduce Wi-Fi or something to that. I don't know, that would be the best thing, but we all know that it's just a complete reskin.
So yeah, I will say that I think what happens with Arcade1Up is we go through periods. We go through the period with the $2.99 cabs. They came out with a couple titles, and you had bare minimum what you got. You got your wooden marquee, all that stuff. So then they went to phase 2, where you got branded risers with it and light up marquees. And now we're on to phase 3, where it's Wi-Fi, and they're going to resell the same cabs each time, just with Wi-Fi and different options. Like everybody, if you're tired of Pac-Man, there's going to be a lot more Pac-Man next year, except it's going to have online leaderboards and Wi-Fi. So get ready to buy it again.
Right.
Hey, my kitten.
We have kittens and other guests here. Mrs. Kong Zeros just wanted to come in and eat her lasagna.
Just you and me, nostalgia.
I know.
It's just us.
We're gonna play with our kitties.
This is Hot Rod, guys.
We want to say hello, everybody.
Come in, Mrs. Genie. Yes, come in. Mrs. Kong Zeros is here. Come on.
What do you got to eat? What is that?
Is that a
pasta?
pancake?
This is
Pasta?
lasagna.
Lasagna,
Yeah.
nice.
Lasagna.
There it is. There's Miss Laura B. Hello.
Say hello. Say hello.
Hello.
Lara's taking off. She's very nervous.
I'm all alone. There's no one
P-Dubs, his
here
mind is going
beside
crazy right now.
me.
What are they doing to my show?
It's the wife show.
I know, but condolences to P-Dubs.
Yeah, thank you very much. P-Dubs just says about 4,000 Arcade1Up Turtles in Time cabinets just cleared the ports this week. Interesting.
That's a lot.
Do you think they're going to sell 4,000 Turtles in Time cabinets?
I know a lot of people
I
say
don't
they don't
know.
like the decals. It doesn't bother me. They think it looks nice.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the decal either. I did have that pre-ordered and then I canceled it because I came to my senses because the price was whack.
The price is the love up there. I agree. But
That's why.
Nostalgia, you were saying before, like thinking Paw Patrol will outsell Pac-Man 2-1. Like, have we ever seen stats on what they sell and what are bestsellers besides? Just
I don't think
anecdotal
Arcade1Up
stuff?
releases any of that detail.
No, they don't. They don't
Right.
provide any of that data. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious their Pac-Man is their number one seller. That's why they've re-released it like 75 times, right?
Yeah.
Like they have a Pac-Man every 3 months. There's a new Pac-Man, whether it's a countercade or if it's a 3/4 scale or if it's just a picture or whatever it is. One of those metal tins they're now selling. I don't know what it is, but
Or it's at the end of a joystick for Retro Ralph to have.
yeah, that's what I'm
fun
saying.
with
Like
on
whatever that
Friday
is.
night.
The adult joystick. Like they,
So-
it's just that for sure, without question, is their number one seller. I could speculate. I would think Street Fighter's probably a pretty close. I wouldn't even say it's a close second, but I'd say Street Fighter's probably their next one because that's the one that they've done the most of. But yeah, I don't know. I'm seeing in the chat somebody saying NBA Jam sold really well too. I think NBA Jam sold well for the number of units they produced, but when you look at it in the grand scheme of thing, I really don't think NBA Jam is even in their top 5 sellers.
So I wanted to bring up a comment here from Detroit Love. Nostalgia knows what I'm talking about. I don't believe that was your wife. I didn't hear an F-bomb. So yeah, whenever we do voice chats and my wife comes by, she's just dropping them like left, right, and center.
Yeah. It was a little jarring the first time I heard it. I was like, whoa, geez.
Easy now, Lara.
Yeah.
Let's move off Arcade1Up. We've talked about it to death with 2 little topics. Let's talk about some fun stuff.
Well, hold on. Before we do, have we talked about the Arcade1Up Juniors yet?
Yes, we did. In
Oh,
detail.
okay. My bad.
In
Sorry.
length. But let's move
That's
on
what she
and
said.
let's talk about AtGames. National Owners Day is right around the corner, and we haven't got a chance to talk about it yet. Steven, I don't know. Glenn, have you guys talked about it yet?
I know about it. I love the new name for it.
Nada.
Noda, not a, right? For autumn, if you didn't know. So that's the official name of it. It's National Owners Day Autumn. Although I am arguing that it's not really a day anymore because it's twice a year. So it's going to be National Owners bi-yearly. So no B is my
So it's
my
fine.
name. No buy.
No buy.
No buy.
That's funny. Where I'm from in Newfoundland, there's a regional dialect here, and that's one of the sayings. Like someone will say, "What do you think of this?" And you'll either hear from a Newfoundlander, "Yes, buy," or "No buy." So
No
there
buy.
it is. No buy.
Although I wouldn't think AtGames would want to make their their big sale date a no buy, but they have some good stuff happening there. And I think the MCAP and Rascal did a good show
Yeah.
earlier this week to really recap the big reveals, and there's going to be more next week, including the Game Room dudes hosting some good stuff next week as well, potentially. So it's good stuff.
My favorite thing about that is how I found out the Game Room dudes were hosting that was I was going through the influencer deck they provided to us, and they were like, so the Super Game Room dudes are doing some shows, and I was like, oh, we are.
Yeah. Wait, they didn't ask? That wasn't part of the official.
I'm sure they asked somebody.
They probably talked to Pete all about it. Yep.
What ended up happening is they came to the important people, like the decision makers of the Super Game Room dudes. They didn't waste their time on the fodder.
I know. Even I, as a substitute, was like, "Oh yeah, I would agree that the Super Game Room dudes are already there."
So I want to say thank you to Zohar for the super chat, brother. I can't call you Zohar anymore. I don't know if you want us to call you that.
Fanboy.
Console fanboy. MK2 counter cable sell very well. I'm buying them all and renting a boat. He's gonna have that Viking funeral for them.
I gotta say, if you haven't seen Console Fanboy's videos today, by the way,
that diss track on John D.
He's dropping some really funny content.
Fire.
So I mean, if you haven't watched the John D song he made, it's pretty fun. If you followed Arcade1Up at all and know who John D is and this little rivalry that Console Fanboy has been building up, it's pretty good. It's worth the watch. Kudos to you for whoever was singing in your song. And he made another one, by the way, that's not NSSW. That's the word for it. So
not safe for work.
Yes, be cautious. So good stuff. But we were talking about Noda was good stuff. So yeah, I really like how they did some coverage on the Corner Basement Arcade. If you want to check out like a full stream about it, my quick highlights on the new products that are coming out. The Reskin Mini looked pretty another good option for folks that saw the Tetris and it wasn't for them. Just seeing another version of the multicade looked really nice. I was really curious about the Pixel LED, the bit LCD that was coming out. So instead of having the pixelated version of the Pixelcade, that I see has a lot of versatility coming out. And then the 4-player control deck, which was leaked and what everybody was talking about. It's all this new stuff. I'm just curious about when it's going to come out, though. So at the September timeframe, what do you guys feel like? Is this going to be something that we'll see this year? Is it going to be just pre-orders with the $20 and we'll see this in?
We don't know yet. We're waiting on more information. Like we've kind of been told, like, what we can expect to see, but we haven't been told any dates yet on when it's coming out. And that 4-player control deck, we don't have an official final look at that because that got leaked and that was a prototype, and AtGames, as they always do, leaked.
Leaked. Is it a real leak if they leak it themselves? Like,
well, it depends if they say whoops, and I think they said whoops.
That's been Arcade1Up's business model this entire time too.
Except they're getting like retailers in Canada to help them leak stuff. So
they're not. Honestly, like I have a good relationship with the Brick, and like I ask them all the time, and I'm like, "What happened?" And they're just like, "Mistake," and it's not intentional. Now I can't speak for what happened with what was one Chapters. I can't speak for that, but I know the Brick was legitimate mistakes.
Okay. Well, we were learning that Canada gets all the scoops and the leaks. It's leaky. Yeah. The other thing, the title packs are coming out for Nod as well. So Volume 2, if people were waiting for those and you liked title Volume 1 packs, that's good. Marquee game there is Operation Wolf. So that looks really fun. I'm going to be...
come on now. Marquee game Zookeeper.
Zookeeper.
That's a good game, too.
Just because Jason Tierney loves Operation Wolf, they gave it the gold standard treatment. But Zookeeper is the real gem here. Let's be serious.
Let's be honest. Yeah. There it is. And then also Elevator Action is a pinball machine or is a pinball game.
Yep.
Curious to see how that works out as well. And then there's a big puck that I saw too. Ristal, do you know anything about that?
I don't. I'm just making sure we're not breaking embargo here.
Yeah, B, like you just dropping stuff, man. I'm not 100% sure we were supposed to talk.
No, we're good. We're good.
We're good. I'm pretty sure I read it as much as I could have without sharing.
Yeah, I'm just scanning.
Just like, no.
Wait a second.
Yeah. I also want to state the Basement Corner Arcade did a good show on it, but Wagner's Tech Talk has an awesome article up on his website. So I didn't put a link to it, but I'll put a link to it afterwards in the comments for a show. Everybody go check out Wagner's Tech Talk.
Great
good people. Yeah, good people.
Look, Mike Caputo is already saying like they've already covered all this stuff. So if they've already spoken about it, I think we're good. But yeah, they did a good job. And yeah, Wagner's Tech Talk, he does the best. Like instead of a video version of it, it's like the readable version of it. And I love
his website's fantastic.
It's great. He's awesome. Love Wagners.
Oh yeah, and Jason Tierney brings up a good point, and we really messed up by letting B cover this because he just went all over the place, and we didn't get to talk about the big thing that they're doing.
That's right.
AtGames is giving away $500,000 in prizes, and some of the stuff you get just for being an owner. Like basically, you're going to wake up the first day of National Owners Day, this whole celebration, and you're just going to get shit. It's going to be given to you. You're going to get an email, and you're going to get stuff just because you bought it. So get ready, guys. This is really exciting. Does anybody have the information on that? I believe Nostalgia, you're really up to date with everything, aren't you?
Listen, guys, it's all right here.
I'm going to put you full screen there, Nostalgia, if you just want to tell us everything about it.
Well, yes. There's lots of good stuff coming. Apparently, they're giving away about $500,000 plus to owners and appreciation. And check your emails. How's that, Mike? I need a little bit of support on this one, guys.
I heard there's a show next week that's going to be
a little
revealing
flat to me.
everything.
Yeah, so I'm obviously not going to give away everything because I'm worried about breaking embargo. But no, they've got what have they got going on? They've got I'm imagining there's going to be like the competitions that they typically do, and then there's also a bunch of like just freebies that they're giving out to people. And then there's a bunch of hardware as well. What are you looking at? Pinball tables, arcade net, a bunch of stuff like that. So, and I also believe that the Build Your Own Legends is actually going to be kicked off that same week too. So there's like a lot of stuff kind of happening all in that week. So lots of really good stuff. I don't know, Mike, do you have more information than I do? I'm like scrambling here, trying to get it. I'm just rambling. Everyone in the chat is this dumbhead talking.
Hold on. It's tough because I'm trying to bring up the deck again here now.
As you're looking for more info, I thought something looked off, and I went to go look for a hat, and I feel like there's somebody who's missing.
He's wearing it the wrong way.
No, that's perfect.
You got to flip it around.
And then while I'm here, I figured we could probably draw a beard.
Yes, you do that while I'm getting this information here.
This is for Dubs out there. I was telling that
Mrs. Got to put the foundation up first.
that we're missing Dubs in the house, and I don't have enough facial hair to be on the Super Game Room dude. So she was trying to find a way to make this happen for everybody.
You were the one cube that was. Which one isn't like the other one? That was you, and now you're gonna be one of us.
Can you make sure that you're using a Sharpie and not something that can come off easily?
Oh no, we're going with makeup now. So, you just shaved. I was gonna draw mascara to like catch all the little hairs on his face, but that's not gonna work. So,
that's okay.
You guys keep doing you.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can transform myself into a P-Dubs tribute as you keep going.
Benefits.
So, guys, I got the deck up here in front of me, so I'll read off some stuff for you here now, guys. Just give me uno momento, por favor.
I'm pulling that up as well.
Yeah. So I got the deck up now 3 times, but gifts in early access. So gifts to ALU 1.0 owners. AtGames will send off 3 months of ArcadeNet subscription, $60 value to thank them for being loyal fans. Gift to ArcadeNet BYOG first generation subscribers. AtGames would like to give Zachariah Pinball Volume 1 non-ALP $50 value to subscribers who will have subscribed over 3 months. And then the gift to ALP Wave 1 to 3 owners, 3 months of ArcadeNet, $60 value. And then Taito Volume 2 Early Access. AtGames will send email notifications to owners who purchase Taito Pinball Volume 1 during the July 4th sale to Early Access for Taito Volume 2, the games we just talked about. So we're going to get discounts. We don't know all the discounts and deals yet, but we do know some of the sponsors. So it's going to be Buy Stuff Store here in Canada. They're going to have some special deals up as well, partner deals. And also Arcade Graphics, I think, is partnered. And there's going to be deals on other stuff too. Like we're looking at maybe I did a review video there yesterday about the arcade control panel for the AtGames Legends Pinball. Hopefully that's for sale. Obviously there might be some deal on the Zachariah pinball packs. We'll see. The big thing is about the prizes. There's so many prizes going out there. Let me just bring it up here now. I'm trying to get all the contest and win prizes. Here we go. So we've got leaderboard events, Classic Arcade Leaderboard Party. Post a score on any leaderboard supported title from any Legends Arcade family device. It's going to be $20 standard arcade net cards, and then 5 $60 cards. Pinball Leaderboard Party. Play any pinball tables and post a score from any Legends Arcade device. And it's 20 and then 5 again. Friends list, add 7 friends. It was 10 last time, but add 7 friends to your current friends list. And I know Diatom. same prizes again. And then Legends Mail, open special celebration message for a chance to win. Literally the easiest of the bunch. All you got to do is open your Legends Mail that day, and you're entered to win. Anybody else want to jump in there, or Nostalgia? He pixeled out again.
I'm losing you guys. I'm having horrible internet connection, so just give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to close out some of the
chat is
bandwidth
going
hogs that I've
crazy
got going
about
on right now.
my hobo look going on right now. That I have half a Dubs mustache going on, but you did a lot of good.
You got to keep
coverage.
in mind, Dubs has just the goatee. He's got the dirty goatee.
Yep.
So that's
Just
you got to
dirty.
focus on that area.
This is
Nice
too much.
big
It's
bushy
just in this
goatee.
area right here. Okay,
So-
and then she's running
Mostly,
away.
yeah.
Have
he's-
She gave up.
You should be in
Yeah.
high anxiety. You got half of it on, half got ripped off from Mel Brooks.
I just gotta talk like this from now on and be like,
There
"Hey
you go.
guys, this is my P-Dubs impersonation. Yeah, one time, how you guys doing today?
Oh,
I
here
gotta
she
eat my
comes.
sugar's low.
I got markers.
That's
Oh,
very
markers.
accurate.
There we go.
Listen,
Bliskin's run
what I do
has
in my
solved
private time. What I do in
Bliskin's
my
run has solved
private
the
time is
mystery.
my business. Okay.
You're live on air.
Yeah. So sometimes you guys drink coffee. I download stuff. All right.
So
Why
my
change all day, every day?
my friend the other day asked me, and this may be a little bit too mature for the show, but he said, have you ever had that instance when you're in the bathroom at work and you're trying to watch pornography, you can only hear it a little bit, so you turn it up. You can still only hear it a little bit more, so you keep turning it up, and then you realize that you were connected to your Bluetooth speaker at your desk. I was like, no, I've never experienced that.
Wow, that's
Somebody throw a B up on full screen here, Mike.
All right, yes, time to do it.
Get rid of that inappropriate comment.
Mm.
this side looks more real.
Oh, I know, but they're saying that it's mostly like just this area. But now I have
It
two
looks,
different
it looks like you have
colors.
a
I'm
piece
not
of
gonna-
brownie over your face.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know
not
if this
gonna
is
lie. It looks like you just ate some like dog poo and you got it all over your face.
I'm just like,
B was at the mud
I don't
show.
think this is what we're looking for when we said, "Hey, this might be a fun thing to do on the show."
What did you do to me?
Okay.
Gosh, Pete, I
Dubs,
didn't know you were gonna eat me.
This is Mrs. Kongzera's best P-Dubs impersonation that we were trying to do. Except why am I still like brown on this side and poop on this side? Like this is
'Cause I don't want to use any more expensive makeup on the other side.
I'm telling you, just use a Sharpie.
yeah. It's okay. We can keep the show moving. This will keep us distracted for another couple minutes or so. But P-Dubs, this is for you. This is my tribute to be the best substitute B-Dubs that I can be.
Even it up just a little more.
That's what it looks like after he's eaten P-Dubs.
Condolences, B-Dubs, that this is happening in your stead. This is what's happened on the show. You get people trying to put on makeup live on camera. What can you do?
Other than that, there's another thing with National Owners Day that I wanted to throw out there that people might not be aware of. There's another contest for an AtGames Legends pinball table currently running. The people over at the ArcadeNet Facebook fan page are trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by National Owners Day on September 6th. If they can get to 2,000 subscribers, they're going to be giving away an AtGames Legends pinball table. So if you have a Facebook account, go find the ArcadeNet Facebook fan page, subscribe, and you will be entered to win. If they can get to 2,000 members, an AtGames Legends pinball table. If you don't have a Facebook account, make one, go get yourself subscribed, and let's get 2,000, I don't know what, followers on Facebook, is that what it's called? Get them to 2,000 followers, and let's give away an AtGames Legends pinball table, guys.
And then
Nice.
join my 75 Facebook groups I have.
You only have 75? I could
I
have
think
swore it was
75.
79.
Well, I could lose count. It could have been 79.
Thought it was 69, Glenn. That would have been the number, right?
Cons is the winner.
I know you too well. It looks like you literally ate a bag of poop. How do I get this off my face? Like this is
Wait,
not.
you
That was a
gotta-
Rick and
Hey,
Morty episode.
hey.
What universe are you
Afterwards.
from? You from
Listen,
Universe
this is-
571?
Number one rule of life: when you shit the bed, you sleep in it. Okay. So that's what's on your face for the rest of this show.
I don't want to alarm you. I tried to wash my hands and it's not really coming off.
Oh,
Aces.
Permanent.
Okay, it'll
It's
fun.
permanent.
Oh,
It's
that's
permanent.
fun.
It's permanent there. It's okay. I don't know. It's good. It's good. Don't worry. There. I like it. I like it. This is good. We'll be good.
It's a
Thank
good
you,
thing
Mr.
he works from
Monica.
home.
Thank you.
I think magic erasers will work just fine with that.
Melted chocolate bar. But anyways, hope you are having a good time watching this, Dubs, wherever you are. And just giving another shout out. If you guys don't know, if you joined the show late, we are here because Dubs is having some family things happening. We're wishing him the best. So if you're wondering why I'm doing this, it's all in good fun. And Detroit Love's been in the house. You didn't say hello to your other friend.
Yeah,
Yes, we
Carl's
did.
just not here because his furnace is broken. So.
Can't be here without the furnace.
That's it.
So,
Nothing like a furnace in the summertime, I tell you.
Anybody want to say anything else about AtGames National Owners Day Autumn before we move on to our next topic?
Are you guys buying any of the new stuff like right away? Just curious
I-
if you guys are gonna jump in.
I don't know. I got to see what's available here in Canada. I'm waiting on Buy Stuff Store because they made an impressive back box. And I know Bobby Boo's got one too, but it's easier for me to get stuff here in Canada. So I'm waiting to see if Buy Stuff Store, I know they're going to have some specials. And if they do something on their back box, I might be intrigued on that one.
Oh yeah, that's right. I love how they're getting in on it, and those
Yeah.
third-party vendors are jumping in on the not sale. So if they're offering products, that's the hot commodity that people are going to want. So I'm curious if their back box is going to go on sale.
I don't know. I like the their new Legends puck, like the new core. They're calling it a Core Max.
The
Yeah.
Legends.
I like that because
pinball.
it's a much more substantial chipset in there, and it's much more capable. So I think what they're eventually moving towards is going that route with the more advanced hardware. So that opens the doors for a lot of possibilities. I think that's something that people should consider.
It's got Sony guts.
B, you have something over here, bud.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Hey,
something
yeah,
right-
B,
right
you
there.
got some brown stuff on your
Right
face, man.
there.
I'm not sure what that's about.
Too much tossing salad, so
Oh man, I'm lost on it. The puck, from what I understand,
awesome.
it's gonna have a comparable internal piece to the AtGames Legends pinball. So the big thing about it is it's gonna work with more advanced games, and you're gonna get a better pinball experience. So that's what I'm excited about. And oh yeah, P-Dubs brings up a great thing that we all are very excited about. There's apparently a new partnership that's going to be announced, and I'm going to put Restalgia full screen again if he wants to talk about that.
Hey, Restalgia.
Hey, Restalgia, what's
Hey.
this new partnership?
I actually don't know. I don't have it. I don't have that information. Also, I'm pretty sure that's under embargo. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Oh no, the embargo was passed. 100% sure.
No, not for that part.
New partnerships. It just says new partnerships. We're not allowed to say what it is.
Right, and that's why I said I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
Won't put you on the spot any further.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know what the new partnerships are. So I'll wait.
I know he
I'll-
does.
I'll wait till they provide us more information before I say anything.
All right.
It's
What are you going to
definitely
tell us?
The AtGames communication plan, whenever they have even the deck or their emails, you really have to decipher all the dates and all the information. You have to have an interpreter just to understand where everything's happening. But it wouldn't be AtGames if they didn't give us a hard time knowing when we can and can't say stuff. But notice happening. There's good stuff. There's partners. $500,000 in stuff they're giving away is actually really fantastic. I don't see any other companies doing this twice
No,
in a year.
AtGames is very good at engaging the community.
amazing.
PK is very big about giving back to the community. He always has been. So
Yeah.
Kudos to them for continuing to do that.
Yeah,
But actually,
I mean,
the first nod is when they got me to come on board really with making my first purchases. That's when I purchased a lot of my first things. And so it's not only just for the folks that already are here. So if you are on the fence and watching and have not ever purchased anything from an AtGames product, this is a perfect time to get in for the sales. And so that's nod one was the one where I got in.
So I think I love what they do here with the National Owners Day, because most companies go out and spend a fortune on marketing, and they go out and they get, I'm not throwing shade, but they'll go get celebrities, they'll get time on network TV, they'll do other things. AtGames says, screw that. We're going to put our marketing money back into the people that support us, back into the community. And that's what they're doing here. So they're bringing new people on board with sales and then immediately introducing them to already happy existing customers and really building and fostering a good community. So kudos AtGames on what you're doing here.
Hey, Mike, it
Here,
sounds like
here.
you're throwing shade on another company.
I'm not throwing shade on another company. As soon as I started saying it, I was like, it's going to sound like I'm doing that. So I just wanted to make sure.
And Kevin, I didn't get special treatment. I purchased the Wave 4 pinball, but then I suckered up and bought a Sam's Club version of it, and I got 2. And then I sold the other one because I wanted to get it first. So no special treatment or anything. I just happened to pay way more money because I'm in California, didn't have a Sam's Club membership, and paid a 10% premium for the Sam's Club. So if you ever wonder for the Sam's Club price, you only get it if you're a member. You can buy it if you're not, but you have to buy it.
Oh, I didn't know that. I actually went in when I bought my Legends Ultimate version 1. I had run in and got the card. I paid $50, the membership, just for the machine.
Yeah, because it let me purchase it, and I was like, oh great. And then when I finally got my bill, it was like an extra 10% more. So you can buy, you just have to pay the 10% premium. And it's like it was 10% of 700. So I could have just got the membership and did that, but I was worried they were gonna sell out, which they did. They always sell out. The Walmart, we got new kitties and everything. This is totally derailed.
Kittens are awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. So 8-Bit Brian's got a question about the Gamer Mini having pinball side buttons. It has the ability to have pinball side buttons. I believe those are a separate purchase. The only control deck, let's call it, that actually comes with pinball buttons is the Gamer Pro, as far as I'm aware, unless there's a bundle that I'm not aware of.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention too, I don't know if they're going to have any sales over National Owners Day. This is for our Canadian customers, but the Brick has a bunch of stuff in stock right now in their distribution centers. So we're talking about arcade control panels for the AtGames Legends Pinball, Vibs boards. So I don't know if they're going to do anything sale-wise over National Owners Day, but they got stock. I know one guy wrote me after my arcade control panel, and he said, I'm going to go to the Brick tomorrow and get one, and he literally did. He's all over the AtGames Legends Pinball Facebook page today talking about the arcade games he's playing on the pinball machine. So the Brick has their stuff in stock right now, guys. Go get it.
Good stuff. I'm happy that it's available now. Remember the time where it was just like sell out, and even for things like Vibs, the community was just like a point where they wanted AtGames products. The demand was crazy there, and now that they've kind of leveled out with their supply, this is a perfect time for National Owners Day. Honestly, it
just shows the quality product that they had, the loyal fan base that they have, and that's good. I mean, AtGames had a not so good reputation back in the earlier days. I mean, I find the products were fine, but they weren't the best. But they turned it around. The Legends Ultimate really kicked off a new chapter for AtGames. They built a really good community. Absolutely. They listen to the community, and they supply some add-ons, which is great, and people respect that.
That's the number one thing I saw in chat too. If you have a pinball and you don't have the control deck, this is absolutely the must-buy time to buy it. Yeah. Because some 100. The number one complaint is $200 is too much. This is the time. Get it.
Yeah, I would definitely second that. I didn't think I would like it so much because I didn't think I would use it, but now that I have it, I'm like, okay, this is actually really nice. Like, it was well designed. There was a lot of thought.
Yeah,
I went into it. So
let's talk about the LCD control panel, LCD marquee a little bit, because I'm really interested in this. I think the BitPixel is really cool that you get these names come up on the screen, but with the LCD monitor, you're going to be able to accurately recreate marquees, and it's going to really change the dynamic of your Legends Ultimate, because you can have real arcade marquees up above the game while you're playing it. Like, changes everything. What do you think the price point is going to be, and is this going to be a huge seller for AtGames? I mean, the LCD market right now is a nightmare, especially not just getting LCDs, but getting ones that are going to be that exact size. What do you think the price point is going to be, and are people going to be all over this?
I think it's weird speculating about price points. I mean, I know we'll do it all the time. It's natural. It's part of the show. But for an accessory at $300 to $350,
it's crazy, right?
That sounds way beyond what an accessory should be.
Yeah.
You know, and we were crying about the Arcade1Up Baby Cades. Like, that's just way beyond what I would pay for an accessory that I think has nice value, but it's still a DIY kit. It's still a DIY kit. It's not a complete product. You still have to do work. There's a lot of customer service issues that could happen with it. People can break it. You can download stuff. It's just way too high it needs to be sub 200 for me for even to think about an accessory. So that's just me.
Glenn?
Well, again, it comes down to what you want from your machine. I do agree it's a lot for an accessory, but you know, it's a cool thing. If you like you have, Michael, you got all the machines in there. I have it in here. We all do. It's kind of cool when you walk in to see it. But after that, what's the real value to it? But again, the components cost what they cost. So it's really up to you. There are people who will have no problems paying that kind of money to have the look when you go into the game room for that authentic, or just shock valve. People don't go, holy cow, look at that. But it's a lot of money. And like B Kong was saying, it's not a complete solution. It's still a DUI. There's still things you got to do to it. So there could be people buying it thinking I can just pop it in there, and that's really not a plug and play solution.
Do we know the dimensions of it? Is it like the same as like a 14.9 inch LCD that would fit the same marquee area space? Because the parts of that, the reason why I ask is that LCD, if you just buy it and put it in an Arcade1Up, because I've seen people do digital marquees for like an Arcade1Up and use Hyper Marquee or Launch Box even to make that digital marquee, and that's like $110 on eBay. Maybe a little bit cheaper if you get it from AliExpress. So that's like the raw cost of an LCD that size. Is everything else software package wise enough to be a $300 if it's still DIY? That's my only point. I mean, I know the prices of the raw screens might be a little bit more, but that's my price point. It's like $100 ish for the marquee screen.
Right. But when you're talking raw screen, you're literally talking the screen. You have to have a bezel. There's other work you have to still do to it.
Right.
So there's more to it than just that. But you're right. You can get it for, I'd say about $115. You're about right on that.
You guys are talking about something that would fit on an Arcade1Up, not on the ALU.
So that's a little bit bigger, wider.
The ALU, and it's exponentially more expensive when you start going up.
Get off the size thing, man. Come on.
So Detroit Love, I don't know if you heard us earlier. We're all thinking of you and your situation right now as well, brother.
Hey, my stuff's not expensive. My stuff's inexpensive.
Well,
what are you talking about?
How much is the flight yoke? What is the retail on that?
Well,
right now, it is $250.
That's pretty good, actually.
We're going to get it down to $200. But when you compare it to the only other option out there, which is the Allen One, I'm half the price.
Well,
so it's not the price point, I think, of the accessories that stops people. Because if you buy any graphic, you're going to be spending, like, if you're going to reskin your machine, you're going to be spending anywhere between $200 to $350 with shipping and kind of landed at your door. So it's not really a price thing. I think that there is going to be a price point where it's too expensive. I am kind of with B on this one. I think that if I were going to put out cash for an LCD marquee, I don't think I'd spend more than $200, like on the high end. But I mean, we know that there's a shortage in LCDs. We know that there's a shortage in chips. We know that there's a shortage in glass. We know that screens and monitors are crazy expensive. So I don't know. I think that it's very likely we're going to see a higher price point on it, and perhaps it's going to be on sale to something that is more reasonable and digestible for this sale specifically. I think similar to what they've done with the control deck. So
yeah, and somebody was mentioning that the guys like from Pixelcade are the ones that really put this out, and they already have their version of it. That's at that high price point. So I think that's what everybody's basing it off of, right? Yeah. So that so not knowing what that product was, if this is the AtGames version of it, it's still a partnership. So how much is it going to be if that's the true retail from it there?
Yeah,
still a lot of money. So that's
keep in mind that when the first whatever the BitPixel marquee came out, or the Pixelcade marquee came out, it was a higher price point than what AtGames was selling as well. So
yeah,
I mean, there's I don't know what the correct term is, but when you're scaling up in volume, like the economies of scale, what's it called? Sorry, AtGames has a substantially better buying power.
Yes, I think you mean economies of scope.
Economies of scale, isn't it?
No, that's economies of scope.
I'm pretty sure it's economy of scales, man.
I got I stand corrected. 8-bit Brian corrects me here. If Carl could buy $100 worth of beef and cheddars at Arby's, I guess I'll try and lower the price.
So
yeah, you got to get that in check.
So P-Dub's Arcade Loft just brought up a similar comment too. It won't be $650 meatball. AtGames has better purchasing power. So with their economy of scope, just kidding, it is economy of scale. With their economy of scale, they can obviously maybe leverage their LCD purchasing power a little bit better than what Al could. The truth of it is, we're talking about something that is going to be dependent on who's buying, because people brought it up in the chat. They were talking about there's people out there with rims on their cars that cost more than probably my car costs. So, you know, people are going to spend what they're going to spend depending on what they want. Is it a good price for us? It depends on how much we really want it. Is an LCD marquee really that important to us? And probably for us here, At $200, yeah, it would be. But if it's going to be $300, $400, we'll probably pass. But there's going to be people out there that are like, that's a hell of a deal. I want this. I'm going to have it. Those are the same people that also have like the amazing skins on their arcade. Nostalgia, you sent me a picture and you said some really nice stuff about that Halloween wrap that someone put on an ALP this week.
I don't
That
remember
looks
what I said, if it
beautiful.
was nice or not. I can't remember.
Yeah. Anyways, I loved it. I thought that looked beautiful. And like, you know, there's people that are going to go do that stuff. To me, I just like the way it looks standard. I'm not going to spend any more money, but it depends on who the purchaser is. So if it's $500, still going to be people who buy it, and they're probably going to be pretty
That's what
happy with
Detroit
it.
Love said in the chat. If you want to pull that up, so he has a.
Oh, man.
He says the point he's making is that if people want them, they'll pay the price for it, just like you were
Yeah,
saying.
that's right.
Oh, that's true. Of course.
There it is.
There it is, wild. So moving away from AtGames now, I do want to talk about a couple other things. First up is we got some bad news this past week. A game that we've all been really excited for is going to be delayed, and that's Shredder's Revenge. So the new Turtles game, unfortunately, we got some cool information that you're going to be playable as April O'Neil. I wasn't as excited about that as everybody else was because I grew up with the original cartoon. It's not like April was really a fighter, so her playing as her in the game is not something I'm interested in. But I'm sure I forget this sometimes that you got to have representation. So I have a daughter, and I'm sure she's going to want to play it as one of the turtles, but maybe she'll want to play as somebody that represents her, and April would be a good choice. But anyways, what do you think of the news on Shredder's Revenge this week? We'll start with a real turtle fanatic, Nostalgia. What do you think?
I think that if something's not ready, then it should wait till it's ready to be released. That's how I feel. I'm not one of those people that gets upset when you've got games that get delayed. Lots of games get delayed all the time from some of the biggest publishers in the world. It's not a problem. That just means that they realize that they're going to be sending out an incomplete product if they send it out for launch. And I'd much rather wait 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year for a game to be properly polished. And I think like the biggest example I think of is like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild was supposed to be a Switch, or sorry, not a Switch, a Wii U title. And then it didn't come out. And I bought the Wii U for that game. I bought it on launch for that game, and I went the entire generation of the Wii U without that game. And when it came out for the Switch, it is, and always, without any question, it has been my absolute favorite game I've ever played on any platform, period. It is just a fantastic game.
You're missing out, Glen.
Sometimes you got to wait, and it's not, sorry, Ben Glenn, it's not Pac-Man, but
Where's the
yeah.
Switch?
What's that?
He doesn't
What's
know
the
what Legend of
Switch?
Zelda is, so you know.
Oh, jeez. But no, honestly, no big deal. If it's late, it comes when it's ready, and I'm fine with waiting as long as I got to wait for it.
Well, so I thought you were a big fan of the Assassin's Creed games, but you're telling me you like finished products. That's weird.
Look, I don't know about you and your Assassin's Creed nonsense, but I don't think I've ever said Assassin's Creed is in any of my favorite games list ever.
Thank you so much for the super chat, Hobby Hands. Representation, just bringing Venus to Milo. I got a big feeling about Shredder's Revenge. We're going to see a lot of characters. The first thing everybody went nuts about over Twitter and online was, where's Casey Jones? Because, I mean, come on now. It's Casey Jones.
It'll be a DLC, I'm sure. Or maybe just not in the game. Maybe that's why it's delayed.
Yeah, I saw the new picture when they put April O'Neil on the front thing, and it looks out of place because there's room to add more characters. So that's very astute that they would add more characters. I think I was saying on the Retro Buzz, let's just bring in all the oddball characters to make them playable, including movie characters, because I had a really soft spot for Kino, and I was like, let's have a pizza boy in the game
from Secret of the Ooze. Yeah,
exactly. So love me some Ernie Reyes. But other than that, yeah, Casey would be a great choice. They can add in. I wonder if you could switch it around. Would it be really cool to ever play as like a bad guy and like have like a Shredder and like those characters beat up on other stuff? I don't know.
It'd be tough. Like they've done it with. You're a big Transformers guy? Have you played many of the Transformer games where you can switch sides?
Yeah, between Autobots and Decepticons.
Yeah, you play as the Autobot for a while, and then you'll switch over to Decepticon. They'd have to do something like that and almost tell two different stories.
Yeah,
because like I mean,
beat him up as a bad guy would be fun though. But I don't know. That's the only character I'd be like, that'd be fun to just like go to town. You kind of do that sometimes in like Castlevania games. Beat the game, you can play as the character. So if they're gonna make the sprites for it, I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would actually be lots of fun.
Yeah,
you either
Shredder
pick
goes
the good
good.
guys and the bad
Beating up
guys.
his own foot soldiers.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Well,
style
and
of the
you
play
have
was
like a
really good.
completely different storyline, right? So
Yeah.
it'd be lots of fun.
That would be awesome. That's why they're waiting. They're gonna make it happen. We're gonna say it right now.
I want to play as Krang. I'm invincible.
April had some really crazy moves though. I mean, like she did some training in her moves list. I was like, wow, she was doing some splinter training. So that, to your point, didn't make much sense, but
No.
she can kick some ass.
You know who I'm really excited about? Vernon. Vernon's really going to kick some ass.
I'm just gonna point out that best hat.
Yes,
best hat on the
saw,
Super
we
Gamer
saw
Beats.
the
Just gonna say,
chat
no
about
big
you
deal.
having a hat.
No big deal,
Funny.
guys. Listen, I get it. You guys want to come with your wannabe hats, but if you want to get good, you got to pick up one of these.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ron's Retro Arcade.
Yeah.
His hat.
So here's a little bit of a risque topic. I do want to mention it because we always make joke about the OnlyFans, and I know you guys are gonna be so uncomfortable talking about this, but I'm gonna do it anyways. So OnlyFans this past week, they did a flip flop. They came out and they said there's gonna be no more provocative content on our platform anymore. Everybody went nuts. 4 days later, they were like, yeah, that was stupid. There's going to be lots of provocative content on our platform. It does affect YouTube overall in general because there's so many YouTubers that also have that side hustle. YouTube's almost like the gateway into their OnlyFans where they make their money, and that's how they support like their channel and what they do. So did you think it was a strange move for OnlyFans to just come out of nowhere and take that stuff away? No, you thought it was a good move for them to do that?
No, I didn't say it was a good move. You asked if it was strange. I said no, it was not strange. Do you want me to elaborate?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so they want to go public, don't they?
Oh, that's why.
They want to go public. So in order to go public, you need to have investors. You need to have like a whole bunch of stuff happen, and typically you need to have like a PC type of company, and some of the more advanced content that they had probably wasn't very PC. So the idea was that they had to make that change in order to secure whatever they had to secure. But turns out after all the blowback, they were still able to get whatever they needed from whatever venture companies were going to be supporting, or I don't really know how all that stuff works, but they were able to get security on the fact that they could continue operating the way that they were. And I think that's why they came back. Like, I don't think it was an active choice. They were like, okay, guys, a bunch of people sitting in a boardroom were like, we got to get rid of this type of content. How can we do it? I think it was like, I think we don't have any other choice but to get rid of it. Otherwise we can't move forward with, the action plan.
Growing our company.
Correct.
And due to that decision, the OnlyFans channel is going to be a full frontal all the time.
Yeah,
full frontal. And if you like me in sweaters,
just a sweater though. That's Nostalgia's OnlyFans page.
Sweater, yeah.
Nostalgia,
pretty much
just
like
sweaters.
It's like a sweater onesie that I wear. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I found it really strange because Playboy tried something like this a couple of years ago where they were like, our girls aren't going to take off their clothes anymore. And people were like, well, why do people read your magazines then? So I didn't see where OnlyFans was going to go if they did the same thing. I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or anything like that, but you do have to remember a lot of people, this is basically how they make their bread and butter. So it was weird that they would just arbitrarily make that. And I'm glad Nostalgia, who's somewhat of a scientist, could explain it for us in that way.
That technical Nostalgia meter, we can always count on Nostalgia for that very delicate explanation. For me, it was just like when you restrict content creators and that's been your bread and butter, they probably were going to lose a ton of business from content creators.
Yeah.
Joining their system, they're going to find something else, the next thing that allows them to do what they were doing. So they were going to lose a huge market share of their base. So it made sense. So restricting content creators is the thing.
So Glenn, you're an old school YouTuber like I am. You've been around the block a little while. Do you remember all the different times we over the years got mad at Google after they bought YouTube and we were like, we're going to find something else, and all the other like Daily Motion came up and people started putting their videos on Daily Motion, and what's some of the other ones? We always said we're going to find another source, and
here we are.
Never worked. Yeah.
Vimeo.
Yeah, there's not always
I'm back.
Go like this, Nostalgia, and see.
Mr. Roboto.
I'm gone again.
Michael B was going to start. Hold on, I'll bring up.
All I hear is literally robot noise.
Robot. I'm your robot boss.
Nostalgia at Ed.
Michael B was going to start an OnlyFans where he played his Arcade1Ups and assless chaps, but then he saw the P-Dubs photos and got second thoughts. Well, just P-Dubs was just so much better at it.
We want to ask you this question right now, Mrs. Kongzara. So
We got a minute.
Yeah, we are talking about a minute. So we're talking about OnlyFans going back, like the real OnlyFans. Did you hear about that news about how they weren't going to do like hardcore stuff anymore and really kind of cut out nudity?
Oh, that website, yes.
Yes.
I heard about that.
The OnlyFans. Somebody was saying they were talking about OnlyFans. Where's Mrs. Kongzara? Any thoughts on that? They actually turned tail and they are going to continue to allow content creators doing their thing. How do you feel?
With nudity?
Yes.
Are you gonna get me?
I don't know where that came from. So no, just trying to engage you. What are you doing here? What are you drinking?
I got my box wine from Trader Joe's.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good
Box
stuff.
wine.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff. Hopefully you guys are having a good drink in your hand Friday nights. And this show has completely gone off the rails talking
No.
about OnlyFans.
No, I've been dry for a while. We've been talking for. I'm dry. I got nothing.
Yeah, I'm surprised that where we went with this one, Mike. What's up with the OnlyFans segment? What else you got? You obviously have an opinion. Let's hear it.
No, I was just when it was announced, I didn't have the same insight that you did, and I just found it crazy. And I felt bad for all the creators that were going to be put in a very awkward position because there are people. This is what they do for a living, and there's people that supplement their YouTube, supplement their Twitch revenue with OnlyFans. So it sucks.
I gotta tell but Mike, I gotta tell you, man, the people that were affected by this are not YouTubers. They're not people on Twitch. The content, so that
well,
no,
Instagram too is the other thing. Yeah,
no, the content that was being removed, and to be clear, they weren't removing all adult content. They were removing hardcore adult content.
yes,
But those aren't YouTubers.
yes,
Right. That's
no,
my point. Soft,
Unless
let's
I don't think you're finding any hardcore content on YouTube in the way that you think you are.
Not on YouTube, but the YouTube is merely a gateway to get people to go subscribe to their OnlyFans, where then you can see the hardcore stuff. You have Twitch streamers that go on there and they do stuff, and then they offer the hardcore stuff because that's the only way they can actually make some money from it. So it is a gateway.
That's where I was making my money.
Too. That's right. I've been subscribed to Glen's OnlyFans for a while. His OnlyFans, sorry.
There are people affected. I just disagree that it's YouTubers and Twitch streamers.
It is.
I don't think it is.
I'm 100% serious. And I know you're.
Are you saying that because you're losing out on your content?
This is all we're coming back to an
Mike,
this
is coming around full circle. I think we figured it out. Okay, spill the beans. What's your OnlyFans link?
Anyways, it does, and okay, moving on. All the rest of the games are also being delayed.
Hold on, we caught you red-handed, Mike.
Last thing I do want to talk about is a lot of information's come out about shipping issues coming up in this next fall. So we get a lot of games that were being promised. We're seeing some good stuff from Arcade1Up coming out now, where Turtles in Time has hit the shores, 4,000 units. There were some rumors about Big Blue hitting the shores, but there's going to be a shipping crunch coming this holiday season. I've already talked about it. The major toy companies, they're buying up the majority of the containers coming over from China. It's going to be hard for stuff to get in. So I want to hear the over-unders on some of these products that are being announced from these home arcade companies actually being available before Christmas.
Okay, name the product and I'll give you the over-under.
Okay. Restalgia's somewhat of a scientist, like I mentioned earlier. So all the
I'll use my Restalgia meter.
All the Arcade1Up cabinets. Like Simpsons. Is Simpsons going to be here before Christmas?
I believe that'll be one that's here before Christmas.
X-Men.
In some form of quantity, yes. I don't think everybody who ordered one is going to get one, though.
Really? So you think it's going to be short on the pre-order?
I think, given the challenges with freight and shipping, I think that Arcade1Up is going to be very specific about what they prioritize. And I don't think X-Men is going to take priority over The Simpsons.
They came out first, though, right? In terms of pre-orders, X-Men did?
It may have.
Yeah.
It may have. I mean, I don't know what kind of position Arcade1Up has with their freight system, but if I were to say there was a priority in terms of what the end user wants more, I think the end user wants The Simpsons more than they want their X-Men cabinets. So I would say that X-Men comes in second before Simpsons. That's just my 2 cents.
Do you think anything else gets announced that hasn't been announced yet, or are we at full capacity of what we'll see from Arcade1Up this year?
Have they announced Tron yet?
No, that's why I brought it up.
Okay, so I do think that at some point we're going to see Tron, and I think that we'll probably see that September, October.
Because Chapters Indigo already had the listing for it, so it's real at some level. But formal announcement, no formal announcement, and that's one that definitely will be a next year thing, even if they announce it now at this point in time. To your point though about Simpsons becoming before X-Men. Simpsons still has hardware issues, right? So that's the big thing that I feel like would push it back to your QC standpoint, right?
Nah, Arcade1Up is all about sending out games with hardware issues.
It's true. There's precedents, but if they were smart, they'd actually showcase the video stuff beforehand. But maybe there's a future patch. But I think that X-Men would be easier to come out, I think, ahead of time than Simpsons, I would say. Plus, it was pre-orders came out a month earlier.
I'm about the Simpsons. I'm very skeptical that they're going to get that Simpsons bowling game running properly. Very skeptical. Very trying not to be a Debbie Downer, but man, I don't know that that's going to happen.
Yeah,
so I'm curious to see what they're going to do if and when that does happen.
Simpsons bowling looks fun, but I'd be fine with them taking it off, put something else on the cabinet, provided it's an arcade game and they take it off and then fix the control panel, because I'm a Homer main on Simpsons and I want to play Homer correctly, and that control panel does not look super comfortable where the buttons are above the control stick to accommodate the trackball.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that would be a big change if they did that and they couldn't make it happen. So would you think other Simpsons game or just another Konami type of?
I'd be fine with another Konami beat 'em up. Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. 8-Bit Brian has an inside. He actually has an inside with Arcade1Up and an update on Killer Instinct.
That's right. 2041. It's gonna happen. Wi-Fi and everything.
That'll be another hard one.
Wi-Fi will be long gone. That'll be kind of fun.
Yeah, this one I'm more hopeful for. But
have you even thought about though? Have you guys ever done any content about what our arcade collections are going to look like 5-10 years from now? And this is still like a year 3 of home arcade really blowing up.
Yeah.
And like I made this comment about my Infinity game table. Some of these things, are they going to still even work as well as they do 10-15 years from now? I don't know. So
yeah,
time to get a mister. Throw in all Arcade1Ups.
So my perspective is that with these machines, they're going to need repair. Like, I think that if you are anybody who buys them and actually plays them, you're going to be replacing joysticks, you're going to be replacing buttons, because the quality of those that they have in there are, and I'm not trying to be like a basher, but they're easily some of the worst I've ever felt.
Absolutely.
I'm concerned about those Infinity tables, to be completely honest, because I was watching your review and I was looking at it, even like the way that you're sliding and pressing buttons, it looks sluggish.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know if you feel that. Like, it feels like there's serious lag.
Oh yeah. It feels like
a digitizer.
It feels like a first generation Kindle Fire type of tablet, like the early Android tablets that were a little laggy when you dragged it, versus an iPad was very fast in terms of refresh. It feels like that early Gen 1 product. So
yeah. So
I'm concerned.
That's when you run into problems, because as time goes on, developers don't want to develop for old hardware. They want to develop and optimize for the latest hardware. And as that happens, games get updated to be optimized for that new hardware. So, 5 years from now, Hasbro is going to be making games for the latest versions of the whatever the iPads, iPhones, Android devices, whatever it happens to be. Yeah. And then you're going to have a translation issue coming back to an older chipset. Like, if you've tried to take go grab like a Galaxy S4 or something like a Galaxy S3 and try to play something more modern on it, it's going to be a terrible experience. It's choppy, it's slow. So that's my biggest concern with that product. So
good insights. I love the nostalgia meter.
Yeah.
Beyond just tackling the numbers behind it, good technical stuff.
I'm 60.39% sure that I'm right about this.
Almost.
Guys, I think we did this to death tonight. I think it's almost time for us to close up. So before
before we do, can we talk about the Arcade1Up Juniors?
We missed
yeah, we forgot to talk about that.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the Arcade1Up Juniors yet.
We can throw up the picture one more time of Glen, one final time.
Yeah.
Glen, did you make this photo?
I am the photo, nostalgia. I am the photo.
You make the photo. It's wonderful. It's just like everything about it, the forehead, it's just beautiful.
I'm surprised they didn't use that as the actual marketing picture. Scott's
welcome to use it.
I think missed opportunity. Cool Toy should be on the regular Arcade1Up boxes, and Glen should be on the Arcade1Up Jr. We've talked about this.
I'd buy it if it was there, but you know, we're a small community, so what can you do?
Anyways, Nostalgia, what do you got coming up this week? You gonna be making a video?
I actually am going to be making some videos,
Nice.
a couple of videos. I've got, I was actually sent, I'm not going to drop any names yet because I get a lot of requests for reviews on things like budget tablets, budget handhelds, those types of products. And typically I don't want to say they're one and the same, but a lot of them use the same chipsets. They all function the same. They all have the same problems. They all can do more or less the same thing. But I had a budget tablet that was sent out to me. And when they sent it out to me, I looked at the specs and I'm like, okay, it's a little bit better than average, but I'm expecting it to be more of the same. And I got this thing and I was blown away, not by the functionality of it, because it's not like a high-end tablet, but the components that they use, the RAM in conjunction with the chipset, in conjunction with the GPU that's in there, in the SoC, it runs emulation really well. And when I say really well, I'm running Nintendo 64 at 1.5 times resolution at full speed. Any game that I want. Yeah. And this is on a sub $200 tablet. I am running PSP games at 2x and 3x and 4x resolution, full speed. And I'm talking some of the most difficult games to emulate. I was even able to run some GameCube games and some Nintendo Wii games on there at some marginal, like at a little bit of a slower speed with some frame rate drops. But like, when I got that and I was actually playing with it, I was like, holy cow, like this, if you're buying a budget tablet, this is the tablet to buy. So keep an eye out for that. That's coming out really soon.
Nice. Glen, where can we see you this week?
Well, actually, since I finally finished this little bad boy, I have to get back to my games of the week. I'm a little behind. I got to make sure we have plenty of those ready to go. But I do have some other videos I've been working on. My Fair Channel Channel F video, my Laser Active video I've been trying to get out for a while. So there'll be some stuff coming out. And I have to fix my Arcade Legends Ultimate. My board had fried, and they sent me out a new replacement board. So I had to get that bad boy up and running again, because I have put in my 4 8-way powered switcher with the Tron joysticks in there. And I've been trying to get a video out for that as well. That's it.
All right, Counselor Ross, what about you, my man?
Hello. I always have projects and videos I want to be doing. The next one that's probably most ready prep to go is I covered a solenoid kit by Cleveland Software Design, where it's a drop-in kit for AOP. And it just, when you hit it, the flippers, it'll just work for anything, core games, modded games. And so I have an installation tutorial for that coming up probably in the next week and a half. And this thing behind me, if you didn't tell from the small screen, I've had my Arcade1Up Star Wars pinball behind me sitting here just in its like gutted self state, that I never completely did my own version of a dedicated tutorial. I know Doug, aka Cool Toy, did an amazing 3-part series on modding his Arcade1Up, but I already have my big full-size arcade pinball. I have my AtGames Legends, which I spent a ton of time on. So the goal was to do a mini tutorial on this, on doing the basics, and then eventually selling it, because I don't have any more space. So I will be getting rid of my first Arcade1Up product, because I haven't sold any of my cabs. I don't know what that process looks like, Michael B. Is that hard, letting go of something that you put so much time into?
Yes, very hard.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of my modded products too that I spend a lot of time into, that's going to be hard letting go at some point. So we'll see, but it'll be fun to make those 2 videos. I know a lot of people have been asking me, because I use something called a GeekPie, which is a really cool encoder, and it allows you to use a lot of analog stuff. But those are the 2 things. Oh, and I also, Infinity Game Table, wanted to do like a top 5 UI fix video as well, because to your point, Nostalgia, I have major concerns that I didn't cover a lot in my video. I mentioned some of them, but you make some great, fantastic points. So I'm hoping that there's some way that there'll be shelf life on this beyond 5 years from now.
So, Kongs, we may have found you a buyer for your Star Wars pinball. Jeff Rule is here in the
How
chat.
much? Yeah, it's going to be modded with the PC and doing all that good stuff. So it'll be fun. But I have to do my content on it first. And then I don't even know. Maybe we'll do a contest and I'll do a Bobby View and give it away. So it's hard for me to put a price on stuff.
Whoa.
So
Yeah.
let's see.
I will tell you, I'm in the process of letting some cabinets go myself, and it sucks. Like, I don't want to. I'm trying to think of any excuse in the world. Like, I was even, it's Marvel Superheroes I got to make room for now, because I want to keep my Centipede. Even though I have the Atari 12-in-1, I still want Centipede by itself. Right?
Nice looking cabinet.
Yeah, exactly. So I asked my daughter, I was like, do you want Marvel superheroes to go up in your room? She was like, so I'm probably going to let that go tomorrow. Yeah, it sucks. I really don't want to. And we're just out of room. Like my wife is kind enough. She's given me this office that used to be hers. And, I got my room downstairs. So I'm at that awkward point now where most collectors get to, where bring something in, something's got to go out. So
right. And that's why I'm leaning more towards like New Wave Toys and Numbskull at this point, just because you still have that cool factor, but you can breathe in your location. I'm buried. I mean, I can't fit anything more in here. And I feel your pain. How you've got in your house, what you got in, Michael B., God bless your wife. I don't have a wife, so I've been okay. Yeah. But you have a wife, and she's let you do it. So God bless her. And same with Mrs. Kong's. I mean, you got the toys there. I'm jealous of some of that stuff.
I had to sell a couch secretly, and then I made that space.
Yeah, nice.
But I'm out. But thanks for getting me in that space, Michael B. That's good to know that I'm not the only one.
Yeah, so tomorrow I'll probably be saying goodbye to Marvel superheroes, and it's gonna kill me because Punisher's so good. But that's the thing. I don't need it to play Marvel superheroes. I'm good on that. I never need to play Marvel superheroes again. But Punisher, I'll miss. Anyways, I've got some stuff coming up. I just released a review video on the arcade control panel for the AtGames Legends Pinball, and it felt really good to do that again. It's been a long time. I think it's been almost 2-3 months since I actually did a review video where I wrote out a script, made my video look pretty, all that stuff. So it was fun to get back on the horse and do that.
That's good.
Yeah, thank you. I really enjoyed it, and I've been doing mostly like news videos. So review is really what I'm passionate about, so I'm glad to be back doing that.
It takes so much time when you do scripts and things. Like I did my Infinity Game one was like a 16-minute video that took me like almost 8 to 10 hours. So I love your scripts, by the way. So you do a good job. I learn from the best and watch people that I like and try to emulate stuff. So.
You know what's funny? Like when I started doing YouTube and writing scripts, I tried to write what I thought I should say. And I found out the quickest way to write scripts is just to say what you think. So there's probably videos I got out there that are terrible, that have no flow, have no fit to them, which is all my videos. But anyways, it's just my ramblings as I'm writing it out in a script, and somehow they come together.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So anyways, quick, I've got Buy Stuff Store here in Canada, which is good timing, where they'll be involved in NADA next week. NADA. They sent me the ArcadeOne-Up Risers. And if anybody watched my Midway Legacy and Capcom Legacy, I'm really disappointed by the viewing angles on those, especially standing up playing a fighter. So I'm really interested to see how their risers are going to improve that process. So looking forward to that. I'm going to do a full review on that. And I just got the stand-up outrun cabinet, and I'm really excited about that. Believe it or not, I'll give you a heads up ahead of time. A lot of people were saying to me, why would you get stand-up outrun? You can't do certain break turns, which are important in order for you to beat the game. You can actually sit on a bar stool and still play it super comfortably. So you get the best of both worlds. Your cabinet looks the same as the rest of your cabinets, plus you're still sitting down playing it. So, yeah, I'm very happy with outrun so far. That's a hell of a cabinet.
Nice. Did you peel the sticker? Are you gonna?
No. Lucky enough, I watched some other show where some other fool did it, and I didn't have to do it myself.
Oh, I know. Are you gonna do a review on it?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna review it.
Yeah, very good.
I know it's late, but I'm the king of like Glen. You remember
Better
when I did
never.
Your trackball review? I think I'm the only person to do a Centipede review 2 years after it came out.
You know what? It doesn't matter when you do it. You just put it out there. You do good content, people come and watch it. That's why no one watches my channel. But for you guys who they do watch, it doesn't matter when you do it.
Anyways, guys, we've kept everybody so long tonight, and we're almost approaching 2 hours. I just want to say thank you so much for you guys tuning in, staying with us fools. We might not be the best of the Super Game Room dudes, but we got great guests, and we're trying our best. So thank you so much for being here with us tonight. And we got
you speak for yourself. Like I know I'm one of the best.
You are the best, brother.
Simply the best.
Better than all the rest.
Thanks for letting me be part of the Super Game Room duds, but happy to be here.
Duds.
Wow.
And out of nowhere, we're going to throw it to Nostalgia to say goodnight.
Good night. I don't know. What does Carl usually say?
We'll see you on the web.
Yeah, we will see you on
the web.
The web.
I should have been more prepared.
Should have been more prepared. Mike, you got it.
The button.
this is Gilbert Gottfried. I know Michael wanted to hear from Alyssa Milano, but your buddies over at the Super Game Room Dudes podcast show got you the next best thing. Me. Congratulations on all your YouTube success. And now I know you've never seen me without my shirt on, but if you did, you'd say what everyone says. Wow, he's got much better tits than Alyssa Milano.
I did say that.
man.
I did say that.
So after this, everybody go search Lame Genie Mortal Kombat theme featuring Gilbert Godfrey, and you will have an amazing time.
That
Good
is
night,
really
everybody.
We're still live.